Hello, welcome in. Hello, Action. How are you? Oh, let me turn on the noise thing on the camera. Hello, happy Saturday. Today was an unplanned streaming day, but I realized I had a couple hours between my manager meeting and my actual meeting for music stuff. So I decided, we're just gonna try to get through as much of the lads like text lore as possible. So that's what we're doing. It's gonna be a comfy reading stream. Treat? Hermes? Who's giving you a treat? Mr. Baby? A treat from Uncle Jihi? Treat from Uncle Jihi. Look at him. Look at him. Go on. Good boy. Thank you, Uncle Jihi. Hello, welcome in, Jihi. Which hymn should I be looking at? The dog, obviously. Okay. But yeah, so, I wanted to do some anecdotes, and then, oh my gosh, if we had some time after doing anecdotes and maybe one of the world underneath, I don't know how much time we'll have, but I bought like a little photo album thing, and I wanted to actually go through all the stuff from the offline event, because I got some stickers. I don't know, here, I don't know if I can show you. So my roommate gave me some Zayne stickers, and my friends also got me stuff from the event. And I wanted to put them in like a little album. And I think that'll be fun. But then I'd have to get my table set up, so we'll see, we'll see. The cat Zayne sticker! He's so cute! Hold on, let me show you. He's so cute! Cutie! Cutie alert! This one is really funny. It says, some long for longevity before fading to dust, and it's enter game. That's the, game loading screen. Okay, anyways, let's go through some more of the anecdotes. That's what we wanted to do today. So we read through, Silas and Caleb only have one anecdote. Boo 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 hoo. Really sad, actually. Xavier, Zayne, and Rafayel have 3 anecdotes each, and we've gone through one of them. I know someone in the YouTube comments mentioned, like, hey, you really should also read, which one was it? Zayne's, Still in Dark before doing the, what was Death and Birth and Rebirth? Death and Rebirth story. So I promised that I would do anecdotes and world underneath as much as I can before we get back to like the main story. So I think, that is the plan still. Let me drink some water. And chapstick myself up because my lips are dry. And reading with dry lips is no fun. Hello, Raiders! Welcome in! Let me give you a shout out. How are you, VHS? Welcome, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Princess. I'm a variety VTuber here on Twitch, and today we're playing Love and Deep Space. More of the text-heavy lore, so it'll be a nice kind of like comfy, cozy reading stream if that's what you guys are interested in. But how was stream today? What were you up to? Some art! Oh my gosh, what kind of art were you doing? Welcome in, everybody. We typically play other games as well. I've been on a lad's kick. I must admit, I have been on a lad's kick. But usually you'll see me playing games like Jump King and Final Fantasy 14. Love 14. Mondays is our usual 14 day. I know VHS also plays 14 as well, so that's why I mentioned. We're good? That's awesome. What kind of art were you doing? Also, if you need to raid and run, no worries. I completely understand. We just started, so we're going to be going for a little bit. Can't promise it'll be too long, but we will be here for a while, so please take care of yourselves. If you need to step away to get some water, go to the bathroom, you are, you know, totally free to. If you want to come back and hang out, I would love that. But it's just gonna be a cozy reading stream today. Welcome to, you know, me at my girliest, in pajamas on my bed, reading through stories about hot boys. Isn't this the, you know, universal girlhood experience? Okay. Oh. Okay, that was a really late, thank you, OBS. That was such a late message. Cool. It was just chat keeping me accountable. I have a personal challenge this year to do one new art project every month and learn something new. This month was learning Clip Studio and drawing my 14 character in a casual outfit. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love that. I hope that your journey this year is successful. I know it's difficult to keep to your resolutions, especially because, you know, our daily lives are so busy and stuff, but congrats on staying focused. I'm also on my own kind of like New Year's resolution journey where I told myself I would eat better and I would use my time during my lunch hour, because I have an hour for lunch and I work in the office, so I'm far away from my computer. There's nothing really for me to do except eat and browse on my phone. But I realized, you know, I should be using that time more effectively by walking, because there's like a little trail that I can go around. And I have lost like 15 pounds since the beginning of the year. So I would say I'm doing pretty good. We just gotta keep going, you know? It's hard. Some days I'm literally like bargaining with myself and I'm like, oh, what if I just, you know, like don't do it? And then when those days come, I'm like, okay, at least just make one loop around, because I make 2 loops. I walk 2 miles during my lunch break every day, you guys. So like I'll bargain and I'll be like, what if I just walk 1 loop? Or instead of walking like the intervals of 3 kind of easygoing stroll and then 3 really intense cardio, instead of doing the intervals, I'll just have a stroll. And I figure in my head it's better than doing nothing. So I thought, you know, and like as soon as I start going, I think it's not too bad. Like my brain makes it such a big deal when I'm not doing it, and then as soon as I start doing it, I'm like, oh, okay, I could go for another loop after I finish one, you know. So I do bargain with myself, but I figure it's healthier than just not doing anything. Off schedule stream, trying to break my stream streak. I see. Hello, welcome in duo stream steak. I see. I did say on Thursday that I might stream in this little gap of time between my meetings, because I want to get through more lore, you know? I do. On those hard days, making an easier deal with yourself is better than nothing. The start is the hardest. It's true, just to get going. Yay, hello, the lads have taken Princess. I know. I'm a little bit nervous of like, once we get through all this like text-based content, like there's still so much, right, for us to go through, but I'm nervous like once we do all this, what's gonna be left for me to do? I want to be able to stream lads, but you know, I don't want to do anything boring, so we'll see. That day hasn't come yet, so we don't have to worry just yet. But hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for the raid. And, you know, without further ado, let's get into some cozy reading. Okay. So this next one is Passing By. It's time to get into Lads Combat. It's true. We could do Lads Combat, I guess. Could try to throw my... Thank you for the head pat. Welcome in, Dio. Could try to throw myself into the orbits. Team 013 or 013, 013. 16 years ago, spring, prior to Arthur's memory decaying to a point where he couldn't remember anything. Not long after the new year, many of Lincoln's residents still bask in the holiday spirit. However, Bloomshore District's Special Task Force, specifically Team 013, was in a panic. After 5 long years, they were welcoming a new recruit. Heard his eval is light or something. He's usually only responsible for providing light and scouting a path during missions. Support role, it's not that impressive. Impressive people won't be sent to our team. Staying here for a year is almost like being buried in the ground for a decade. So he's just like us, a nobody. Luke hands over the newcomer's information to Tommy. Is he here to also fix our hallway's lights? Oh my gosh. More like Zayne cozy time. We're reading through all the boy stories equally. Do your daily orbits? Yeah. It kind of sucks though, because I mainly only stream Lads like Saturday, Sunday. So, well, are all orbits open Saturday, Sunday? I guess we could, actually. Hope your Saturdays are going well, Princess and Pupper Friend Hermes. It's going good. I hope everybody's Saturday has been off to a great start. I had a nice cup of coffee before, you know, meeting up with my manager and planning some posts and stuff. So yeah, we're on a good track today, I would say. Standing before the office door, Arthur is hit by a wave of mixed emotions. This marks his 16th year as a police officer and 9th as the captain of Team 013. In his younger days, his passion led him to numerous accomplishments, but a severe injury from a high-risk mission 5 years ago significantly diminished his mobility. Having recovered since then, Arthur did some mental calculations. Even at the risk of reputational damage, he must utilize the energy of new blood to somehow mold this group of misfits back into shape. Attention everyone! Arthur swings the door open, breaking the chatty atmosphere. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the rookie will report for duty. We've only got 2 hours left, so we need to start preparing. Tommy, are you working part-time as a junk collector? The pizza box has been here for weeks. Throw it away! Arthur is completely oblivious to the neck pillow he's still wearing. And this figurine on your desk, Luke. I've told you not to bring this into our office. It makes us look bad! Team 013 is at the bottom of the hierarchy. After numerous reshuffles, they have been whittled down to a single captain, 2 officers, and a support technician who just submitted a transfer request. They're hardly what one could call a team. In their early years, they made a name for themselves by solving several major cases. However, their present has nothing of their past luster, marked by a lack of talent. Their reputation has taken a hit due to failed investigations. When their department relocated, they were left behind to handle the task of sorting through a plethora of old files. To this day, they still inhabit the old building. As time passed, they were all but forgotten, their only interactions with the others being the occasional job to retrieve files or search at the headquarters. At the age of 23, the rookie Xavier stands before the door, holding a cardboard box. He is not 23. That man is not 23 at all. Neck pillow! He's sleeping on the job, you guys. It's true. Okay. His uniform is neat and his expressionless face clean. He sticks out, being the only lively person in this otherwise gloomy hallway. Excuse me. As the door swings open, a group of people in the midst of their hustle and bustle lift their heads. They're dumbfounded by the face illuminated under the bright white light. A college student? Has he graduated yet? He's forever 23. He's not sleeping. He's just comfortably resting his eyes. It's just, you know, he wants to look at the back of his eyelids for a little bit and focus. You know, he's really trying to figure out what color it is. Did you know there's an actual color of, like, when you close your eyes? It's like, I forgot what the color was called, but it's something gray. Everyone who comes here is just a bunch of pretty boys. Slightly awkward, Arthur clears his throat, signaling for everyone to quiet down. His eyes, filled with anticipation, move to the newcomer. You must be Zav, right? Why don't you introduce yourself? Xavier, male, 23. I'm the newest member. I look forward to working with you, the young man says, heading straight to an isolated desk in the corner. He places the cardboard box beside the computer and silently starts arrange his things. Tommy and Luke simultaneously exchange disgruntled glances. What's this guy's deal? However, as time passes, Luke's impression begins to change. Whether it's tasks assigned by the higher-ups or senior members, Xavier always completes them quickly and methodically. He works until they're done, but nothing more. He is never late, but he doesn't leave early. When asked why he requested a transfer to their squad, he answers in a matter-of-fact tone, "This place has many old archived records of Lincoln City. I want to read all of them. But there are likely over 5 million criminal records and fingerprint files in the database, and ones that haven't been entered into the system. The files from the beginning of the century alone probably amount to tens of millions of pages." Xavier falls silent for a moment. Seeing him lose hope, Arthur pats his shoulder as though he understands. It's good to like reading, but you can't spend all your time in the archives. Let's have beef hot pot tonight. You know, beef hot pot does sound really good. That sounds really tasty. Is the microphone, is the sound of my voice okay? I'm like slightly readjusting the position of the microphone and I don't know if this is like a good position for it. Let me know if I need to move it, please. You see gray? I see red, like my blood. I think it's like gray. That's what they say anyways. Good enough over my monitor speakers right now. Okay, good. Good to know, good to know. And the background volume is okay? Xavier doesn't like a lot of things, but he's very enthusiastic when it comes to eating hot pot. Watching as Xavier orders plate after plate of beef and lamb, Arthur is relieved. Knowing a person's favorite things is basically getting closer to them. During a mission, Xavier was injured in an attempt to rescue someone. He spent nearly half a month in the hospital. After being discharged, he insisted he didn't mean to rescue that person. He even claimed the incident had traumatized him. He ended up applying for a desk job as a logistics administrator. Like a forgotten cactus on the windowsill, Xavier lives a simple life, thriving amidst the winds and the sun's harsh glare. I once made a crappy digital painting of what I see when I close my eyes, and it's just dark red with splotches of dark green. I see. Heard Xavier is gonna be in the new Pokemon game, is he? How? Why? An unspoken secret. Xavier always tidies up paperwork when everyone else is out on missions. He helps Luke whenever the hallway lights are broken. Despite Xavier mostly keeping to himself, people find he's actually quite easy to get along with. His evol is even more useful. Sometimes, for reasons unknown, a flash of light causes the criminal they're chasing to unexpectedly drop to the ground. Our target this time is an old friend, Lawrence. Team 013 has its usual mission briefing. Silence hangs in the air for a moment before Arthur awkwardly clears his throat, pointing at the image on the whiteboard with a laser pen. You know, Arthur awkwardly does a lot of things. I feel like whoever wrote this often refers to Arthur being awkward. That's like the 4th time those words have come up in like conjunction with each other. You all know what he looks like. The Skyhaven boys learned Lawrence recently returned. Let's keep a close eye on him and proceed with caution. Lawrence made his fortune selling evil hallucinogens, distributing his supply to major entertainment venues in Lincoln City and Skyhaven. Whether he's smart or has someone else guiding him, they always arrive either too late to find him or the goods are gone. They can never catch him. Several of their meticulously planned operations were ruined too. Just last month, Arthur was disheartened, declaring that if they failed again, it would be handed over to another team. Tommy understood this was a subtle hint from the higher-ups that Team 013 didn't need to continue existing. Our mission this time is rather unique, Arthur says, surveying the group. According to a reliable source, Lawrence will be at the newly opened Palace Bathhouse next month. The purpose of this meeting is to select an undercover agent. His eyes brim with anticipation. They're to disguise themselves as an employee. The goal is to approach the target. No one volunteers. They draw straws. As they all unfold the crumpled slips of paper, a collective sigh of relief is let out. Only Tommy speaks up on the verge of tears at the sight of a little turtle on his slip. I would rather do anything else. That place is too dangerous. I haven't even fallen in love yet. Please don't make me go. Poor Tommy. Why they bully him? Such an Arthur thing. Arthur glares at him with disappointment and frustration. You're uglier than a cow. You'd be seen as suspicious almost immediately if you looked like Xavier. Wait, hold on. Your supervisor? How would you feel? How would you guys feel if your supervisor goes, you're uglier than a cow? Whoa, those are some words, dude. HR. I would involve HR right away. The room is silent. All eyes turn to Xavier, who is eating his noodles in the corner. Initially lost in thought, Xavier slowly raises his head, feeling many gazes on him. The city's most renowned entertainment district is a short 100-meter street, tightly ensconced by grand, imposing buildings. The alley behind it is narrow and seemingly endless, almost devoid of light. Here, those with shady business gather, their intentions silently understood. Deep in the night, a group of men in leopard print shirts and gleaming black shoes saunter on the pavement, spewing alcohol-laden obscenities. Street lights illuminate job flyers plastered onto the walls, phone numbers mostly torn off. Among the group, a lanky young man with silver hair can be spotted in the distance. In a denim shirt and jeans, he leans against a lamppost, engrossed in the music from his headphones. I would accuse them of sexual harassment because I'm hot. HR violation, a nice settlement. I think it's just like a very, insensitive comment that, HR would need to get involved with and tell the supervisor should know better too, actually. Especially, in California at least. I don't know about other states, but in California, I know that, we have to take training every couple of years on, how to behave in the workplace. Where were we? Oh, a middle-aged man, cigarette hanging from his lips, approaches and sizes up the young man engrossed in his phone. High school student? College. An adult. What brings you here? The young man removes his headphones. I'm looking to make some quick cash. Do you know how? Wayne leads Xavier into a private room on the top floor of the Palace Bathhouse. As he pushes open the door, a middle-aged man in his 40s is seated in the farthest corner, pouring tea at a mahogany long table. This is the man in charge, Roman. Hello, Roman, Xavier says, following Wayne's lead in greeting. I'm Bob. Roman, looking like he's had a long stay in the underworld, scrutinizes Xavier. His gaze lingers. Just as Xavier begins to worry his identity might be exposed, that it's time to do Plan B, the man abruptly stands. He pulls a book from the shelf behind him, flipping through the pages. Your name is too plain. It doesn't suit our palace, Roman says. He looks at Xavier. Christian. We'll call you Christian. I've never taken training to not sexually harass people, and I don't receive complaints, so I guess I'm doing well. I know this is mandatory in California. I don't know about other states. So, I know specifically that managers have to take special manager training if you're in California for like HR rules and laws and violations and stuff. The palace has only been open for a month, staffed by young people around the same age as Xavier. After receiving his uniform and work badge, Xavier promptly completes his onboarding. The moment he finishes, his supervisor urges him to clock in. Where's Alexander? The supervisor anxiously scans the area. What? A stomach ache? Then who will go to Fountain Blue? Roman said he wanted to show this badge to Lawrence. Xavier willingly raises his hand. I can go, sir. You're the newcomer, aren't you? The supervisor sizes up the young man. Realizing he doesn't have a better solution at the moment, he nods. Lawrence is here to discuss business with our boss today, so mind your words. The supervisor, watching Xavier leave, mutters to himself, such a handsome fellow. It's a pity he's dealing with this. Xavier arrives at the private room, Fountain Blue. 2 bodyguards stand at the door, only allowing him to enter after a thorough search. As Xavier steps inside, a client is already lying on the massage bed. He pushes the tool cart to the side of the bed, simultaneously retrieving the essential oil and slipping on gloves. Hello, is this your first time here? Could I interest you in a membership? Hands press onto the man's spine. The 3rd vertebra, 5th. By the time they reach the 7th, a strong pressure causes Lawrence to almost scream from the pain. As he tries to lift his head, he realizes he's being held down. He can't move. Where's your supply? Who are you? Lawrence gasps. Let go! Let go of me! Help! Ouch! Someone breaks through the door, and a group of guards instantly appear at the entrance. Xavier looks at them and releases Lawrence. Don't you know whose turf this is? Lawrence snatches a gun from one of his men. The others also raise their weapons, all pointed at Xavier. He slowly removes his gloves, leaving everyone unsure of his next move. For a moment, no one moves. Without even seeing Xavier move, some of the men are knocked down by a sudden burst of light. The young man holds a sword seemingly forged from moonlight itself. By the time Lawrence comes back to his senses, all of the men around him have been taken down. Xavier walks up to the man, kicks him, then uses the sword to lift his chin. Can we talk? I only sexually harass fictional characters through fan fiction. Fan fiction. I see. By the time Luke arrives as backup, Xavier stands alone amidst a circle of fallen bodyguards. In the corner, Lawrence is tied up with bedsheets, his neck at an odd angle. Xavier, did you take out everyone in this room? No. Xavier walks down the corridor, pulling Luke by his collar. They ran into my sword. Isn't this exactly similar, or well, not exact, but this is like similar to what Xavier told us the first time we met him, right? Message received, requesting backup. Xavier walks for a bit, then stops. Luke follows Xavier's gaze. A flood of men in black suits spill out of the elevator. I'm not very strong, so you'll have to do the fighting, Xavier says. All Luke knows is that the grip on his collar loosens, and then he's tossed out of the hallway. You didn't look like you were losing! Ah! Half a month later, at the commendation ceremony, Luke scratches his head. Under the fervent gaze of his fellow officers, he steps onto the stage to speak. I'm not quite sure what happened myself. Seeing all those people, I steeled myself and thought, might as well close my eyes and take a gamble. Then I just started punching. Before I knew it, they fell like dominoes. Luke recalls that day with a smirk. Maybe they were just too weak. Oh, the true hero of this incident was our team's Xavier. And there's more. A month later, Polar Bear, notorious for selling illicit evil drugs, shows up at the doorsteps of the police station. He was tied, weeping, and confessing his sins. Another 2 months later, Cash, who had been using his evil to do telecom scams, is found live streaming on MeTube, dramatically slapping himself. Tears stream down his face as he implores everyone not to trust calls from unknown overseas numbers. 3 months later, in light of the outstanding performance of Team 013, The HQ commander temporarily reassigns Luke and Tommy. It's good for further career development, but both of them refuse. They argue their ability to catch criminals is purely because of luck. They felt inadequate being in more important roles. They're open to temporary reassignment, but are firmly against a permanent transfer. For reasons they can't quite articulate, ever since Xavier joined, their previously inept team somehow found their fighting spirit. As for who brought them back and whether Xavier is as simple as he appears to be, no one wants to know. Everyone seems to have an unspoken understanding to guard this secret. I see, he's very capable. That's so funny. A familiar face. As the year draws to a close, the medals and recommendation letters from headquarters arrive. Tommy and Luke, two men on the cusp of their 30s, hug each other in a tearful embrace. For a moment, it's unclear whether Luke is crying from being overwhelmed or from the prickling pain of Tommy's wire bristle stubble. After years of being underdogs, recognition finally came, reigniting the dreams of many. Luke pushes Tommy, rubbing his own reddening cheek. When Tommy goes to hug Xavier, Xavier places another pot of cactus on his desk, creating a barrier between him and the others. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I haven't finished sorting out this year's files yet, and I won't be able to make it home again. Hey, I'm going to be home alone too. Someone's going to have to keep watch here. How about we do this together? Xavier, will you be here tomorrow? Seeing Xavier about to shake his head, Luke quickly adds, "There's plenty of meat. You can eat as much as you want." Okay. Dude, if you offered me free hot pot, I would also stay back and work late. Free hot pot or free Korean barbecue? Yeah, sure, sign me up. I'll stay late. I'm going home alone too. Lost in New York. I don't know what that means. Hi, John. Welcome in. How are you? On the promised day, cloaked in the veil of night, Xavier walks back to the police station alone. Outside, the sound of firecrackers echoes. Inside, the break room buzzes with warmth and growing merriment. At the heart of the table is a hot pot. Luke has brought freshly wrapped dumplings from home, sparking a debate with Tommy about whether pork-filled or seafood-filled dumplings taste better. Arthur calls out to Xavier, "Why are you standing there? Come in and help put up the paper cuttings while the food cooks." Once the dumplings are eaten, snow begins to fall again. The room is very warm, prompting Xavier to step outside for some fresh air. Not long after, Arthur follows him, handing him a can of beer while lighting up a cigarette. "Last month, while doing inventory, I found a file missing from the archive," he says, exhaling a smoke ring without glancing at Xavier. "SD 199-40122, an event that happened decades ago. The involved party is long gone, and the office gave up looking into it. I wonder who still cares about this case." Xavier watches him in silence, patiently waiting for what will be said next. "I immediately requested for your personal files from HQ. They were impeccable. Even during your time here, your actions have been anything but disappointing. There was a match in the portrait database. I found this." Arthur turns to Xavier, handing him a picture. In the faded yellow photograph are the traces of a man with silver hair. His figure is tall, slender. All that remains is a blurry white silhouette. "Everyone has secrets," he chuckles, exhaling a ring of smoke. "The older we are, the less expectations we have for the new year. Regardless of our days, life continues in its steady, monotonous flow. We hope you choose to stay." She wants to be treated like a princess? I always want to be treated like a princess. Welcome in, John. Through the floor-to-ceiling window, a group of people can be seen mimicking the TV anchor's lively dance, exclaiming, "Happy New Year!" Xavier sighs, wondering if these people are truly capable of being a competent team. He lifts his head, staring at the New Year's fireworks that burst at the stroke of midnight above 1,000 high-rise buildings. It's time for him to leave. "You think I deserve to be treated like a princess? Oh, thank you." Thank you very much. Oh, it just advances if I click next. I don't have to click down here. Cool. Old friend. 2 days after Lincoln New Year's Day, the streets remain eerily deserted. Xavier slips the missing file into the mailbox downstairs, then proceeds to feed the stray cats nearby before climbing up the stairs to his apartment. During the time it takes for rice to heat up, Xavier steals a glance at his phone. Finally, after 24 hours, he finally receives a response to the message he sent last night. Mia, aren't you going to ask what I'm going to do with this? Xavier had told him to come to his house to pick up the file. That's your business. There is silence on the other end. The typing indicator appears and disappears again and again. Xavier stares at his phone, waiting. It's not until the microwave dings, signaling his food is ready, that the message is sent. Mia, I want to use this for a new identity. I just want to be an ordinary person in this timeline. Are you still there? Do you think it's funny? I don't blame you, though. I agree. Xavier, I was heating up some food. Mia, is it that Earth junk food with absolutely zero nutritional value again? I don't get why you like it. Their convenience stores can't even be bothered to change the flavor of their chicken cutlet rice bowls. Xavier, and what about you? You mentioned how you're not acclimated to the climate and you're not fond of the food, but you fell in love with someone here. There's nothing wrong with that. Mia, enough about me. Are you really going to wait for that person? Xavier, yeah. Mia, how long are you going to wait? 10? 100? Or 1,000 years? Something messed with the slip space during the backtrack. The spaceship couldn't handle the deep space tunnel fluctuations. Both she and the ether core vanished without a trace. For all we know, they might already be cosmic dust. Xavier, I know. Mia, even if you press on, you're not going to get the outcome you're hoping for. Suddenly, the deafening sound of fireworks resounds outside. Xavier looks into the night. Some windows are adorned with festive decorations for the new year. The outline of those decorations, bathed in a soft yellow glow, paints a picture of safety and warmth as a silhouette moves within. Xavier walks to the door and activates the intercom's visual screen, revealing the figure of a young man. He presses a button. It's in the mailbox. Take it and go. So, obviously, Xavier is an alien. And he traveled through the deep space tunnel. What did they say? Backtrack? Slip space? Something messed with the slip space during the backtrack. So they backtracked through the deep space tunnel to Earth. And I guess they're looking for, obviously, MC. He's looking for MC and hasn't found her yet. But they think she's here, but they're not sure, I think. Maybe that's what that's saying. Chào em, khỏe không? Em khỏe. Welcome in anh Long. Chúc mừng năm mới. Hello, hello. Happy New Year. Em khỏe không? Oh, sorry, it's a really tiring morning. Welcome in. You! The young man is startled. He looks from right to left before he composes himself. He focuses on the camera. Goodbye. Wait, I have something to say! With a certain resolution set in his heart, he stares at his former friend on the other side of the screen. Be careful. They're going to find you. Former friend? Okay. The road's end. Lingering in one place for too long always leaves noticeable traces. Xavier has certainly thought about this. Over the years, he has walked many paths, only to realize there's no real difference between them. Despite their inevitable end, these paths are still worth treading. The fire blazes with such intensity that it leaves no chance for survival. Everything burns, leaving nothing behind. He decides to die in this fire. Xavier turns his gaze to the abandoned factory, which appears much like a military base. The criminal chose a good place to hide. He drags the unconscious man onto the snow, retraces his steps, and discards the man's identification and baton in a corner. The signs of a struggle have been set. The flames surge even higher, lighting the night sky. A few residential buildings are lit, and soon the urgent wail of siren echoes from afar. At the bus stop, Xavier watches a police car speed by. As he prepares to board the bus, there's a cry behind him. He turns and finds a little girl sitting alone at the corner of the road under a streetlight. The girl is young, a dirty rabbit plushie lying at her feet. Upon seeing someone approach, her sobbing gets worse. Are you lost? Did you run away from home? Never mind. Cry louder so they can find you when I'm gone. Why are you so mean, mister? Mga em na may? Something about anh hỏi. Nhà em có cái áo dài nào không? Oh yeah, em last week hôm mà em gặp gia đình em mua áo dài mới. So I have my first áo dài. I bought it last week. The candy in your mouth hasn't even melted yet. You haven't been away from home for long, have you? Xavier approaches her, brushing the snow off her head. Since you live nearby, you should hurry back. And what about you? The little girl looks up at him, her curiosity overpowering her fear. Did you run away from home? What is that shiny thing around your neck? Xavier rubs his neck, choosing the easiest question to answer. I'm leaving soon. What a coincidence. A voice suddenly rings out from the other side. A young man, leaning against a sign that reads closed, stares at Xavier with an air of enthusiasm. He has silver hair, much like Xavier's, though he seems slightly younger. Long time no see. It has been a long time, Xavier says, looking at his former friend. You followed me all the way here to let me know. It must have been hard. I'm curious how you managed to elude us. His friend walks over, hiding in plain sight as an inconspicuous guy. It's not much different from what I imagined. I thought you'd kill them before leaving. He shrugs, a twinkle of amusement in his eyes. You abandoned them, just like the backtrackers. How are you going to cover your tracks this time? Kill me? Or let me... Before he finishes speaking, a dazzling light flashes. When his vision clears, Xavier and the little girl are nowhere to be found. The man stares at the footprints in the snow and grimaces. A blade of light materializes in his hand, and he hurries to follow the faint energy ripple. Is another light evil guy? Just a street away, Xavier lands in a narrow alley, cradling the girl in his arms. The flurry of snow he makes conceals their footprints. He picks up the fallen rabbit plushie, brushes it off, and hands it to the girl. If anyone asks, say this rabbit helped you. Whoa, he did it again! But I guess I understand why he doesn't want anyone knowing about him, because he's like hiding / running away. Did he kill his former team? The backtrackers? The little girl clutches her bunny tightly, nodding. You're very handsome. When I grow up, will you be my boyfriend? No. Why? Do you like someone already? Xavier hums softly, turning a blind eye to her sad expression. He hurries out of the alley. I'm leaving now. You can watch the shooting stars later. The surrounding light gradually converges in the palm of his hand. The street light nearby, the searchlight in the distance, and the light from every window of the surrounding skyscraper suddenly go out. And even the moonlight dims. The city is plunged into darkness. The sound of footsteps stops, then draws closer. Xavier opens his eyes, but he doesn't turn to face the person behind him. Instead, he gazes at the sky. You've never managed to beat me in the past. Things are different. Besides, the teachers at the academy will only teach the best of the best. It's too dark. So much so that the young man named Isaiah can barely make out Xavier's silhouette. His position can only be discerned through the sound of his voice. You can guess how I'll erase our traces. Suddenly, the darkened sky illuminates. Radiant light engulfs the two. Clusters of light streak across the sky like countless shooting stars, each shining brightly. The light bathes the city hall, illuminating every tree lining the streets, and in an instant, the entire city is as bright as day. Sweetheart, what are you doing here? You had me worried sick! The girl holds her breath, clutching the rabbit plushie in her arms tightly and staring at the sky. A young woman, tears streaming down her face, hugs her. The girl's eyes light up with excitement as she exclaims, Mom, a very handsome guy saved me! Arthur is jolted awake by an urgent phone call. An explosion has occurred at an abandoned factory in the southern part of Lincoln City, where strong traces of evil have been detected. An anonymous tip claims to have spotted the silhouette of the S-rank fugitive Grey Hawk. By the time he arrives at the scene, the factory, enveloped in raging flames, has been burnt to a crisp. As for Grey Hawk, he is currently lying shivering in the snow, on the verge of being frozen to death. Arthur has a bad feeling about this. Turning to his colleague who arrived earlier than him, he asks, What happened? What's that guy from your team called? Silver hair, kinda young, doesn't smile much, keeps to himself? The officer ponders for a moment. Is it Xavier? Arthur nods, a sense of foreboding creeping into his heart. He was trapped inside. His colleague's voice suddenly falls to a whisper. His gaze fixed on the raging fire. He couldn't get out. The entire city is blanketed in pristine silver, devoid of any sound. The heavy snowfall ceased by dawn, leaving only sporadic snowflakes to flutter onto Xavier's face. The fresh, crisp snow crunches under his boots, each step becoming more heavy than the last. By the time he reaches his home, he can only lean against the wall and slowly sink into the ground. After such a long journey, it's time for a good night's sleep. During that winter, everyone talked not only about New Year's resolutions, but also about the shooting stars that suddenly appeared after the abrupt plunge into darkness. Some speculated it was an explosion of a neutron star millions of light years away. Others suggested it was a reconnaissance aircraft from a neighboring country being destroyed, or a new type of biological weapon. A day later, a team conducts a thorough search of the factory. Eventually, in an abandoned partition on the third floor, they find a police gun designated ST-1101 and some remaining identification documents. Xavier, 23, served in the Bloomshore Special Task Force of Lincoln City. In the winter of 2033, he honorably sacrificed himself during his solo mission to apprehend the wanted criminal, Grey Hawk. So sad that he's had to live. How old is he? What did he say? 100, 200, 1,000? I don't know how old he is, but that he has to start and restart his life over and over again because he's looking for MC. But how would he know, when he's found her? Is MC... Because it's not like MC also traveled from outer space, right? Our character is born on Earth. So is it like a rebirth, reincarnation situation where he just has to find our reincarnation? But how would he know that it was us? The passing spring. In the year 2045, spring arrives. The day before New Year's Eve, Xavier finds himself in a cemetery on the city outskirts. Despite the passage of time, the disaster from 11 years ago failed to ravage this place. The sun, however, has bleached the granite tombstones white, and the details of the deceased have been obscured by grass and blossoms. But in line with the Special Task Force's customary confidentiality, the tombstones bear no pictures or names, only birth and death years and a string of special police numbers. Initially, Xavier only remembered ST-1101. As the years passed, many people appeared. Some were old friends, while others were strangers. Some he had spoken to, and others he had merely encountered once before. He didn't visit often, but whenever he did, there were always flowers placed on the grave. He remembers the month just after his death. The turnout at his funeral was not large. Yet inexplicably, everyone was crying. Luke, removing his glasses, was sobbing, snot running down his nose. Tommy, embracing Arthur, wailed loudly. Even Arthur suddenly wiped the corner of his reddened eyes, though he turned his head away. It's a peculiar feeling, as if part of his life is buried beneath a tombstone, despite it being empty. It's not the absurdity of being taken by death, but rather the unfamiliarity of being remembered for the first time by those who should not remember him. It's like a traveler, after many years, returns to the place from which he departed, only to discover someone is still gazing at the spot where he vanished. Happy New Year. The florist takes the money and hands him the flowers. Xavier collects his thoughts, expresses his gratitude, and also wishes him a Happy New Year. Within the cemetery, Xavier gently places flowers on the graves of those he respectfully refers to as neighbors. A young girl hurriedly wheels an elderly man past him. "You always keep saying that. Luke this, Tommy that. Oh, and your beloved rookie, Xav." Upon hearing his name, Xavier turns around. He sees the elderly man in the wheelchair pointing at him, his hand trembling. "Isn't that Xavier? That's Xavier." The girl pauses, her gaze meeting Xavier's. She gives an apologetic smile. "I'm sorry. My grandpa is old. He confuses people when he's not lucid." Xavier shakes his head. It's all right. He doesn't say much, and the girl doesn't follow up. She simply leans in to whisper something into the old man's ear. Her voice is barely audible, but he hears her say, "Here for the same reason we are." The girl stops Xavier from leaving, smiling. "Excuse me, are you a relative of a police officer? Can I take your picture with my grandpa?" Oh no. Is it Arthur? I mean, it has to be if he's mentioning Luke and Tommy, right? Xavier turns his gaze to the elderly man in the wheelchair and nods. He wheels the old man to the edge of the cemetery beneath a lone pine tree. As the setting sun disappears, the overlapping shadows of the tree and the people dance upon the aged white brick wall. "I may be old, but my memory isn't as frail as you might think," the elderly man in the wheelchair says slowly. "Long time no see." Long time no see. "Don't worry, I won't remember you for long." He laughs and coughs, gasping for breath several times. "In a few more years, when people ask about Xavier, I'll have forgotten about you." Not far away, the young girl raises her hand, flashing an OK sign. "Ready? Say cheese! 3, 2, 1! The camera clicks. After many years, he finally leaves a bit of himself in someone else's story. "Do you want a copy?" Xavier shakes his head. "All right then, Happy New Year," the girl says. She waves him goodbye and leaves with the old man. Xavier also smiles. Happy New Year. Oh, that's so sad. It's like bittersweet. Oh, that's his badge number, I guess? ST1101? I see. What does this say? Bold Christian. Because his name was Christian in the underground. Okay, let's read Zayne's. Why is he so handsome, you guys? Why is he so handsome? He's my favorite. Okay, so it's never-ending winter. All right, night's daytime brightness. All Zayne sees is a world of ice and snow. He steps over dozens of bodies, blood still dripping from his hands. With a wave, dark crystals pierce through several others still struggling. There are no screams. It's so quiet that only the sound of his own footsteps can be heard. There's only a shivering little boy. Zayne stands before him, his shadow looming across the boy's blood-covered face. Afraid, the boy is silent. He can only look up at Zayne with wide, shining eyes. After a moment of silence, the wind rises. Zayne raises his hand, dark crystals once again forming on his palm. Wait. Why is this so different from Xavier's story? So... there was a fight? Maybe he was fighting wanderers? Ladies and gentlemen, we will arrive at Miran Airport in 30 minutes. Please fasten your seatbelts. Following the slightly mechanical-sounding announcement, Zayne opens his eyes. There is no snow, no death. Everything is as peaceful, calm as it always is. Zayne takes one of the plane's disinfectant wipes and cleans the non-existent blood off his hands. These hands have mended heart valves and saved hearts, yet for the past 10 years, these same hands have ended countless lives in an endlessly repeating dream. Oh, it's his dream. The dream where, like his hand is crystallizing and he hurts MC, right? Zayne, we're almost there. His mentor's voice interrupts his thoughts. Beside him, the energetic professor notices Zayne's serious expression. It's normal to be nervous. You only just started working and now you're being sent to the Arctic for an important rescue mission. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Sorry, I'm also checking the sound levels because it's sounding a little bit high, but let me know if the volume of the background music is okay. There is a lot of traffic at Mount Eternal. Once the medical team arrives at Miran Airport, a helicopter takes them to the EVOL Special Rescue Unit's location. In the unsteady helicopter, Zayne ignores his discomfort and looks out the window. Outside, as the flurry of snow slowly dissipates, the foreboding Mount Eternal comes into view. The rescue unit is stationed on the mountain's southern side. The snow has stopped, and the ground, an ugly color from the muddy water, is covered in footprints. Before he can even get to the area for cardiac surgery, Zayne hears the faint sounds of sirens behind him. Turning around, he sees several ambulances speeding in his direction. Dozens of medics emerge from the various tents around him, ready to go. Make way! Make way! What happened? Open fracture on the lower left leg. Major artery damage. Specific details unclear. Apply pressure to stop the bleeding first. What's their blood pressure? What's their heart rate? In the blink of an eye, the narrow space becomes more crowded. It's different from the organized chaos in regular hospitals. Right now, everything in front of him is more urgent, rushed. Are there any surgeons? We need a cardiac surgeon! Dr. William and the others are still in the operating room. Zayne hurries over. I'm Zayne from the medical team. How's the patient? 23-year-old soldier. Body temperature at 36.3 degrees Celsius. Respiratory rate 10 BPM. Heart rate 125 BPM. Diastolic 70. Systolic 90. Unconscious. Penetrating cardiac trauma from a sharp object resulting in the intrapericardial hemorrhage. Oh my god. These are big words. I can't read ahead that fast with big words like this. Oh god. Intrapericardial hemorrhage. Cardiac tamponade. The doctor quickly reports. Prepare a blood transfusion, Zayne says to the nurse. The patient is transferred to the hospital bed as the nurse rushes in with the crash cart. Zayne cuts open the patient's clothes and discovers a bullet fragment lodged deep in the chest cavity. Zayne? Dr. Zayne, right? The nurse hooks up the patient to an IV bag. The patient's heart rate is below 50 BPM. Zayne puts on his gloves as he watches the dropping blood pressure. We need to operate now. But... An urgent alarm from the monitor interrupts the nurse and Zayne's expression changes. The patient's heart has stopped! Get an oxygen mask. Prepare the bag valve mask, and notify the anesthesiologist to assist with intubation. The nurse promptly does as she's told. But Dr. Zayne, what should we do? The bullet fragment is still in his chest cavity. We can't perform chest compressions. Then we proceed with open chest cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cho, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Bring the thoracotomy instruments and contact the operating room nurse to prepare the OR. She's shocked. OC CPR? Hurry! Donning protective clothing, Zayne disinfects himself. With a steady hand, he cuts along the left side of the sternum, slicing the subcutaneous tissue and muscle with an electrosurgical knife. In one seamless motion, the pleural cavity is opened, revealing the bullet fragment and the pericardium, which continues to bleed. Zayne remembers the cardiac ultrasound image shown to him by the doctor, confirming that removing the bullet fragment wouldn't cause further harm to the patient. Without hesitation, he makes incisions along the pericardium and extracts the fragment. The blood accumulated within the pericardium gushes out. The suction device in his hand is already in position. Suture. The suction is complete within a matter of seconds. I found the source of the bleeding. Yet the patient's heartbeat still hasn't resumed. Without a moment's hesitation, Zayne reaches into the patient's pericardial cavity and grasps the still heart. The nurse can't help but gasp. While it's theoretically feasible, every medical professional knows the immense difficulty and low success rate of performing emergency open chest CPR. Zayne, however, remains completely focused. Ugh. Zayne, he's so capable. He's so capable. My heart is fluttering. He gently squeezes the heart with the utmost care, one beat at a time. The harsh winds cut through the thick tent and dozens of heaters. The chill flows in from the gaps and washes over the bed. The nurse tightly closes the curtains next to her, only to see tiny beads of sweat forming on Zayne's forehead. Beep, 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 beep. The blaring alarm stops, and the heart in his hand begins to beat. Zayne glances at the ECG monitor. Only then does his tense nerves slightly loosen. The operating room is ready, Dr. Zayne. What happened, Zayne? His instructor hurries over. When he takes in what occurred, he breathes out a sigh of relief. Good work, Zayne. Let's move him to the OR. The area around the hospital bed becomes busy once more. As Zayne is about to stand up, his gaze lingers on the eval monitor on the soldier's bedside. For a moment, the originally steady beats suddenly spikes to the top of the screen. What does that mean? The surgery went well. Back at the ward, Zayne looks up at the blinding light above him to gather himself. Only when he drinks a glass of cold water does the tightness in his heart slightly loosen. Zayne? A person in a military doctor's uniform pokes his head into the room. Hearing the other man say his name, Zayne frowns in confusion. The man laughs. 35th cohort of the Skyhaven School of Medicine, Medical Sciences, MD, PhD, 8-year program, right? Seeing as Zayne still doesn't recognize him, the man stands up straight. 31st cohort of the Skyhaven School of Medicine, now a medic of the EVOL Special Rescue Unit, William, at your service. As some memories resurface, Zayne's expression relaxes. William. William is a fellow cardiac surgeon. When Zayne worked as an intern, William took him under his wing. William pats him on the arm and says, "Time flies, you're a real doctor now." Why do I remember this name? So they were in school together? Was there any other mention of William? I can't recall. William pats him on the arm and says, "Time flies, you're a real doctor now." Seeing the documents in Zayne's hands, William takes and flips through them. Is it serious? It's currently under control. Zayne puts his pen back in his breast pocket. He runs his fingers down the indents of the notebook inside, parallel to each other and right atop his heart. He lowers his hand and accompanies William to the ward. When did you arrive? The night of the incident, William says. Seeing Zayne look around, he smiles bitterly. Bad, right? But it's already a lot better than before. I'll show you around. There are a couple of tricky patients at the moment. They've all been buried in the snow for too long after being attacked by wanderers, especially the one who just got a heart transplant. We might need your help with... A distant roar resounds, followed closely by the sound of collapsing snow and gravel. William sighs. Seems like we won't be getting any sleep tonight either. Let's go. It'll be a while before the injured arrive. We'll talk in the meantime. Zayne follows William. He turns around to see the distant Mount Eternal lit up, as bright as day, by flash bombs. Deathly encounter. Zayne hasn't left the ward for several days. The battle rages on, with the wounded being sent in one by one. Just as Zayne releases soldiers who arrived for treatment earlier that day, 3 bloody stretchers get pushed in. Most can't handle the long hours and stress. 4 people already collapsed from his medical team alone. Taking over yet another exhausted colleague's patient in critical condition, Zayne leaves instructions before he adjusts the ventilator. He makes 2 rounds around the ward, and after confirming everything is as it should be, he walks out of the tent for a breather. The freezing air in his lungs wakes him. It's late, and the giant searchlight covers the snow. In the dark, Mount Eternal looks like a sleeping beast. "Are you still working, Dr. Zayne?" A passing soldier carrying steel greets him. Zayne nods. "Captain Xander?" Zayne helped 2 soldiers under the captain's command, and they became friends. The captain stomps his snow-covered boots. "It's cold out here, Dr. Zayne. Why don't you go in and rest? I haven't seen you take a break for days." "I just woke up," Zayne says. In truth, he can't remember when was the last time he closed his eyes. Oh, that's so sad. He's like pushing himself to help everybody. Let me drink some water. He's so self-sacrificing. The continuous resuscitations and surgeries are like an endless marathon. He's so exhausted that he doesn't even have the energy to have a nightmare. Besides, the reality he's in right now is far more real, bloody. "What's the steel for?" He changes the subject. "They said we don't have enough wards, so we got asked to get a couple more tents up." Captain Xander wipes the snow off his head. "It's weird. There have been many rescue operations before, and they even gave us new equipment, but somehow more people are injured. Damn. It's almost like there are endless waves of wanderers." Remembering the recent anomalous eval reports, Zayne ruminates. The sharp sound of an alarm pierces through the calmness, and Zayne is back inside the ward almost instantly. A nurse rushes to him and reports that a soldier is in cardiac arrest. As Zayne listens, his heart sinks. It's the same one he discharged the day before. "Administer 1 dose of adrenaline intravenously." "Got it. Where's the defibrillator?" "Almost here." The soldier, who bid him farewell with a smile not long ago, is pale under his oxygen mask, showing hints of blue. 1 doctor is performing CPR, while another holds the soldier's chin and pinches the breathing bag. A nurse rushes over with a defibrillator. She nimbly slathers the conductive gel on the pads and hands them to Zayne. 360 joules, Zayne mumbles. A muffled bang resounds. The heart monitor continues to beep steady. Loudly. "Steady. 1, 2, 3. Beep, 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 beep. Again. Beep. The sky slowly brightens. Snow falls once more, sitting atop the tent. William brushes snow off his uniform and enters the ward. He sees Zayne giving instructions and waits by the side. "Give him 2 blood bags." When Zayne finishes, he walks to William. "Are you here for the death certificate, Will?" "Yeah, he was in our team." Zayne walks over to his document-littered desk and opens the drawer. 23. Time of death is 5:47 a.m. William sighs. He was too young. His father was also a soldier, killed during that disaster. Followed in his footsteps and joined the army. Who knew? Zayne is silent for a moment. "I'm sorry." "You don't need to apologize." William forces himself to smile, trying to lighten up the mood. "You've worked day in and day out without sleep. Everyone knows you tried your best." Zayne doesn't reply, his eyes revealing no emotion. William pauses for a moment. "Zayne, it's normal to want to save everyone since you just started here, but as long as we try, it's okay if we don't save them. We did what we could." He pats Zayne's shoulder. "Don't blame yourself too much." "Thank you, Will. I'm fine." Zayne's phone buzzes in his pocket. He takes it out. "I still have a surgery to attend. I'll take my leave now." He gives William a nod and hurries off to change. Zayne is once again in that world of ice and snow, but this time a white figure stands in place of the corpse's blood. Shoulder pads, I know. Under the raging blizzard, Zayne walks towards him, dark crystals forming on his hands once more. The figure doesn't move, it's waiting to die.
The moment the crystals soar, the wind stops. In that split second, Zayne sees the other man. It's him in a white coat. Wait, so in his dream, he has black crystals in his hand, but he also sees himself? Another version of him? I'm confused. Zayne opens his eyes. The inside of the tent is dimly lit. His tired colleagues are all nestled in their own simple beds, sleeping soundly. Zayne props himself up with one arm, wipes sweat from his face and neck with his sleeves, and slowly slows his breathing. Reaching under the pillow, he feels for his notebook. Zayne's fingers hesitate for a moment, then he takes it out. The cover's indents now form a complete tally mark, one of which is from today. Since coming here, 3 patients died under his care. He strokes the carved marks. For each one, he vividly remembers every dose of medication, every surgery, and every harrowing resuscitation. Yet they still died. That's so sad. 'Cause like, oh, I might cry. 'Cause didn't also like in Prologue to Tomorrow, when we did the Zayne branch, we saw all of the people that he couldn't save. Oh my gosh, wait! Wasn't William one of the people he couldn't save? Does William die? Okay, well, I mean, we'll just have to read to find out. It's impossible to save everyone. He knows this better than anyone else. Yet he still persists. The Grim Reaper in his dreams mock him for his folly, futility, incompetence. It wants to kill his desire to save everyone, but he's not planning to give up. There's a loud noise. Half the operating room's wall comes crashing down, and a horrible mangled body climbs in from the outside. The medics, who are focused on the surgery, freeze in fear, unable to even scream, as the Wanderer lunges straight for the operating table. Boom! Just before the Wanderer can reach it, the creature sent flying past the destroyed wall. Watch the patient! Zayne quickly pulls a surgical drape over the patient's chest. He throws a lancet, and countless sharp crystals embed themselves into the Wanderer. In the blink of an eye, blue smoke fills the room and a protocore falls to the ground. Everything quiets down, leaving only the gasps of those still in shock. Is the patient in stable condition? The anesthesiologist grips the table. Yes. Ask if there's an operating room. We'll move there. Zayne looks at the second surgeon's assistant, who's frozen on the ground. Quickly now. The surgery ends without any complications. As Zayne returns to the ward, he hears his colleagues' worried comments about Wanderers and the unrelenting snowstorm. I heard Wanderers attacked the operating room. Are you all right? William walks over. When Zayne says it's fine, William lets out a sigh of relief. Remembering why he came here in the first place, he asks in a hushed tone, Hey, did you submit a report to our commander? Why was I told... Zayne! His mentor stands at the entrance to the ward, his expression serious. Come here. A transfer order rests on the desk, stamped with the hospital's red seal. The hospital told you to return. The medical field can't afford to lose another person. His instructor hands the document to Zayne. Pack your things. A car will take you to the airport later. He's not gonna want to leave. He's probably gonna fight this, right? And stay at Mount Eternal. When Zayne doesn't move, the old professor snaps. I know what you're thinking, but now is not the time for you to show off. Being able to deduce a change in Mount Eternal's protofield from the patient's abnormalities is helpful to the mission, but that's where your duty ends. He once again shoves the paper in Zayne's hands. Med school didn't teach you everything so you could die young. I'm enough for the cardiac surgical team here. Zayne clenches his hands. I'm sorry, but I have to stay. He takes out a pass. 2 lines engraved deeply into the card by the HQ stamp. Name, Zayne. Detachment, Evol Special Rescue Unit, Special Operations. I'm going to the center of Mount Eternal's protofield to assist them. When did you... The professor is furious. He slams the table. Even if you want to study the cause of the patient's changes, the protofield's abnormalities could lead to even greater tragedies if you... He doesn't want to say anymore. Zayne looks at his instructor's gray hair and steps forward to hold his hand. This is my duty. Don't worry. I'll return safe and sound. If he can't save everyone, then he'll go to the root of the problem and eliminate it. AG, welcome in. How are you? Happy Saturday. Welcome, welcome. We're doing more of like a reading, kind of cozy stream today because I'm getting through some lore in Love and Deep Space. Welcome in. Leaving the tent, William takes a deep breath. Empathize with him, will you? It's hard to train a doctor. On top of that, you're his favorite. Of course he wouldn't want you to risk your life, but don't worry. He shows his card, similar to Zayne's. As a fellow doctor, I'll make sure you get back unharmed. Zayne is surprised for a moment, then he relaxes. Thank you, William. William smiles and stretches his head out to him. Welcome to the team. Thank you for the head pat and for giving Hermes a treat. Hermes is like, what? Did I hear treat? Yes, Hermes. A treat from Uncle AG. Oh, hit it. Thank you, Uncle AG. It fell out of my hand. Doing well? How you doing? It has been a fantastic Saturday for me. Hopefully everything has been going good for you. He did indeed hear tree. He was like, tree, and then he got up right away. Thank you for giving my boy a treat. Through troubled times. A week later, a special operations team composed of 30 elite members entered Mount Eternal fully armed. Our mission is to find the center of the protofield and eliminate it to stop the creation of wanderers. The speculated location is in the valley of the Northern Cliff. This operation is more difficult and even more dangerous than any others before, so you must all strictly follow orders and do everything in the name of safety. As the leader of the group, Captain Xander pauses his lecture about precautions to grab a map. William comes over and asks Zayne, "Who did you address your will to?" He's curious about whom Zayne, emotionless as he is, holds dear in his heart. Prove a point pie! No point was proven. Hello, welcome in, Fuzz. Happy Saturday. Zayne instead deflects the question, who did you address yours to? William coughs and says in a different voice, I'll introduce you when we get back. Oh, William has a partner. Oh no, he's not gonna survive this, is he? Despite being mentally prepared, Zayne didn't expect getting back to become an unobtainable luxury. As they venture deeper into the mountain range, the terrain becomes more treacherous and the energy fluctuations more violent. For each step forward, the operations team has to fight, costing them time and energy. With every teammate that falls, the tally marks on Zayne's notebook increase. At the same time, he goes from being a combat medic to a soldier. Still, the bloodshed doesn't let up. The Grim Reaper in his dreams appears once again, staring at him with cold eyes. With another narrow escape from death, Captain Xander has to make a decision. They alone cannot hold back the protofield's energy fluctuations. If they keep going, it will only lead to more casualties. They must act quickly and destroy the protofield center. When William returns to the tent, Zayne is dressing his wounds. The large injury on his right arm is open again, blood oozing out. William sighs and hands him a bottle of medication. As a doctor, shouldn't you know how important your arm is? There are other ways of saving people that don't involve you taking hits from wanderers on their behalf. I know what I'm doing. I don't think you do. William asks, Zayne, I've always felt like you're more desperate than others when it comes to saving people. I've seen dedicated medical staff, but none as persistent as you. Is something weighing you down? No. Zayne answers. There is. Not at all. Once Zayne is done dressing his wound, he takes out his sleeping bag and lies down in a way to show he wishes to rest and not be disturbed. William remains where he is, clearly unwilling to leave until he gets an answer. These two are at a stalemate. In the end, Zayne admits defeat. Years ago, he says, after a long time, I almost killed someone important. William is surprised. What happened? Holding the ice-cold air with his right hand, Zayne lets it go. I lost control of my evil. That night, the blood in his hands kept dripping onto the ground, dripping into his dreams. The summer when he was 12 was extraordinarily long. Every little thing, like the ivy climbing up from the courtyard wall, the stalls that sells popsicles to swings in the park, is clear in his mind as if it were yesterday. A snowstorm ended that summer. It was the first time a black-robed Grim Reaper appeared in his dreams. Did he hurt us? Is that what happened? Because we're like childhood friends, right? A long way home. The day grows shorter. The night, with the relentless snowstorm, descends on Mount Eternal. By the time the team reaches the valley, they are down to less than half their original number. Outside, the blizzard rages on, yet inside, it's strangely calm. The dense forest is filled with dead trees, standing tall like tombstones. A faint blue light flickers on the black, broken branches. The continuous ringing of the detection alarm and the sight in front of them all point to one thing: the Protofield Center. Looking at the scarred but determined faces of his teammates, Captain Xander says in a deep voice, "Let's begin!" "Yes, sir!" Everyone quickly and quietly gets ready to destroy the Protofield Center. Orienter calibration done. Electrical current ready. Metaflux barrier test initiated. 1. Bunker is ready. Anti-protofield system setup complete. Limit of protofield strength reach. Transmission progress at 75%. Magnetic field coordinates confirmed. 57, 31, 64. Transmission progress has reached 100%. Everything is ready. There's more about that in main story. When he hurts someone when he was younger. Which part of the main story? I've only done up to Homecoming Wing, so if it's after that, then I guess we'll get there when we get there. Or was it prologue to tomorrow? Oh, okay, after Homecoming Wings. Okay. In an instant, a deafening roar fills the air. Sand and rock fragments fly through the valley along with millions of energy particles. The blizzard rushes in. The violent energy fluctuation causes dozens of wanderers to gather. Captain Xander, shocked, yells into the howling wind, "Stay alert! Don't fall asleep! There are wanderers!" Also, welcome in, Aster. Hello, hello. At the sight of one of the creatures swinging a weapon at an unconscious teammate, he lunges at it. Clang! A wall of ice several meters high erupts from the ground and pierces the wanderer's protocores. Zayne grips his right arm with his left. He uses his evol to freeze his weak legs, forcing himself to stand. "Get them to safety first. I'll handle this." Several icicles pierce the wanderers. He grits his teeth. His mouth tastes like rust. Oh no. Is this like a Last Dance situation? Why did he freeze his feet like that? A large energy fluctuation has been detected on the north side of Mount Eternal. Metaflux levels have surpassed the 3rd threshold. Target area is shifting. Signal re-established. After disappearing for so long, HQ finally gets a signal from the operations team. Within the garrison, everyone gets to work. The commander picks up the intercom and says, "The protofield in Mount Eternal has been destroyed. I repeat, the protofield in Mount Eternal has been destroyed. All units, head to Mount Eternal and bring back special operations." The sun is rising. Peace returns to the valley. Crackle. Operations. Crackle. Operations, do you read? A hand reaches out from the snow and presses down on the walkie-talkie's button. Operations, copy. 294, we'll be there soon. What's the situation? Are there any casualties? Casualties. Zayne struggles to stand up and sees his teammates scattered across the snow, unconscious. Using all of his strength, he drags them out and checks their breathing, pulses, and injuries. 2 broken arms and 1 possible concussion. Hearing a familiar voice, Zayne moves to the other side of the destroyed wall and finds William talking. Noticing Zayne, William happily waves at him but winces when it opens his wound. The remaining smoke from the explosion finally disappears, revealing a gaping hole at the bottom of the valley. Although shocking, it's proof of the protofield's destruction. After checking the vital signs of the remaining teammates, William sighs in relief. "Zayne," he says with a smile, "we can go back." Indeed. Sunlight filters through the clouds and fog. Zayne's heart, always so wound up and tight, finally relaxes. The frozen apocalypse of his dreams did not become reality. There should be some heating equipment left in the bunker. I'll go look. William pats snow off him and starts walking. Zayne returns to his senses and is about to help when he stops in his track. What is it? William turns around. Unable to speak, Zayne points. Confused, William looks down. An eerie blue glow appears on his chest. Crystals, beautiful and sinister, slowly begin to spread. Oh no. Does he have to kill his friend? I was thinking, oh, Will is okay. It'll be fine. But, I do vaguely remember something about William not making it down. When he was talking about the auroras, right? Like, we were in town and, we pointed out Mount Eternal. And I think Zayne was, referencing maybe this specific story. And how his friend didn't make it back. Oh man, that's even sadder that he was the one who had to end it. The nightmare worsens. What is this? Suspicious, William touches them. He finds the fine black crystals are now growing on his hand and sting. He tries to wipe them off, fling them off, even use his evol to get rid of them. The crystals continue to grow. Sensing something is wrong, Zayne reaches out and is about to touch William's chest when it all happens so suddenly. The crystals accumulate and William's expression goes from surprise to panicked. What's going on? But the crystals don't give him any time to react. Within seconds, his limbs corrode, twisting into uncomfortable, strange positions. The air around him explodes. Zayne is tossed several feet back. Will! Stay away from me! William shouts. His bones and muscles are torn and start to dissolve. He cries out in pain. Zayne grits his teeth and forces himself to calm down. He tries to use his evol to freeze the crystals. Frost covers William's body, halting the crystals only for a few seconds. It didn't stop them from spreading. A few seconds should be enough. Zayne holds his breath, gathering frost once more. Zayne! The crystals explode. Zayne feels a sharp pain across his forehead, blood blurring his vision. He staggers and hears William shout through the pain, "Forget it! Leave me to..." Before he can finish, countless crystal fragments fly at Zayne. Zayne barely dodges them as he tries to fight against the crystals on William's body using evol. However, his body begins to fail him. Pain explodes through his shoulder, fragments embedding themselves in his flesh. Zayne trembles. No, you'll get taken down with me. The crystals consuming bone, devouring marrow, climb to his neck. His arms, moving on their own, attack Zayne. William watches with dread as his body becomes twisted and gnarled. It's already too late! Kill me! Zayne's mind goes blank. There's still hope as long as I can freeze it! Blood fills his mouth. He grits his teeth. Hold on, please. Again and again, the ice tries to freeze the horrifying black crystals. They fail again and again and again. It's no use. As if a million little knives are piercing through his head, William uses his remaining strength to say, "Help. Help me." The tissue underneath the crystals rapidly form a strange shell. For the first time, Zayne realizes that life which always represents hope and salvation, can be terrifyingly ugly. His movements slow down. What can he do? Can he do anything? He can't. Not anymore. Living like a monster with no hope for deliverance. Is that redemption? Crystals have encased William's body, leaving only his eyes, which stare at Zayne with a mix of pain and hope. The figures in Zayne's nightmares merge with William. Their expressions are distorted by pain. Their bodies twisted into grotesque positions, unable to speak, their minds gone, their eyes can only beg, "Kill me. Kill me. I don't want to become a monster." Snow falls again. Zayne moves his stiff fingers. The icicles in his palm are coated in blood, soaked with a boundless black. William's body takes a few steps and falls, eventually dissipating into grayish-blue smoke. The people he killed in his dreams appear once more, body after body sprawled in front of him, turning the valley into a giant tomb. The wind reverberates into a mournful howl, sounding like a sorrowful cry from the sky, or the cries and wails of countless people on the verge of death. Warm, sticky blood gurgles, melting the crystallized snow, which quickly freezes again. It melts and freezes over and over, turning into a tombstone. Zayne watches one of these winding trails of blood, his blood. He looks up. The Grim Reaper stands in the distance, watching him on the snowy mountain covered in blood and death. 3 years later. Oh, that was so sad. Zayne, you've been through so much trauma. 3 years later. The surgery will be difficult, but we'll try it. Transfer him here. Zayne finishes his remote consultation in his office when Grayson knocks on the door. "Dr. Zayne, here's the Linda board." He carefully puts down the box. "Did you actually ask them to deliver this? It's a very prestigious award in the field of medicine. I can't believe you didn't even go to the ceremony." "I had an outpatient to take care of that day. I couldn't go." Grayson is shocked. "Was it not possible to reschedule?" "Some patients book 2 to 3 months in advance so they have time to travel. I can't reschedule." He looks over his computer screen. "Do you have nothing else to do?" Grayson leaves immediately. After his work is complete, Zayne opens the box. Text is etched into the side of the exquisite award. Dr. Zayne successfully performed the world's first abdominal aortic repair using EVOL technology. He saved a patient who was attacked by wanderers. This is both a miracle and a monumental moment in medicine. He shoves the box deep into his drawer, right next to another. Inside is an award that belongs to William. He stares at them quietly. His memory of William's crystal-covered body in his moments of death merges with the abnormal crystals in the patient's heart. The blizzard that covers Mount Eternal appears in front of him once more. The snow buried William's body, and with it all those secrets. But strange crystals reappeared. The Grim Reaper, hidden in the darkness, opens his merciless eyes once again. This uncertain cursed fate is far from over. Oh, and he's seeing it again with the experiments that Ever is doing, right? Is the trauma what attracts you? I can fix him. And he's pretty. I think it's more like, I mean, part of it, I guess, is the trauma. A lot of it, too, is like, I relate to having to always try to be perfect. And, like, in my own eyes, and I guess for him, in his own eyes, he never quite measures up, right? I think it's very similar and parallels, like, kind of my own, like, mental thought processes. And the fact that he's willing to, like, he's so self-sacrificing, I think, is what it is. Trauma bonding, gotcha! Trauma bonding.
All right, the next story that we're gonna read is probably the last one because that's all I have time for, I think, is gonna be Rafayel's second anecdote, Addictive Pain. Man, Xavier's was so like, oh, I'm an alien and I live countless lives over and over again. Slightly sad. Zayne's was literally just trauma. Like, I can't save everybody. I remember everybody that I can't save because I write them down in this notebook that I have, right? I refuse to be called away from the battlefield to the point where I will literally freeze my feet in place and fight. And last but not least, I saw my friend become a monster in front of my eyes and I had to be the one to put him down. That's fucking depressing, dude. What the hell? Okay, hopefully Rafayel's is maybe a palate cleanser, but I guess we'll see. Ignition. This year's summer in Lincoln City was tranquil. That is, until one fateful night, a masterpiece named Illusion made a grand entrance and stirred the art world. The name Rafayel surged like a tidal wave, striking the soul of every artist in Lincoln. His influence, just like his artwork, swiftly blazed through the entire art community. As the exhibition ends, Rafayel is greeted by art world representatives from over a dozen media outlets outside the venue. Just as expected. Mr. Rafayel, we're from Face to Art. May we request a moment of your time for an interview? We promise it won't be long. Mr. Rafayel, may I ask what motivated your sudden decision to return to your homeland? Some criticize your artwork as baseless fantasies and devoid of soul. What is your response to that? Rafayel maintains a slight smile, remaining silent and aloof. Contrary to his elegant demeanor, his red suit exudes a fiery passion as intense as burning flames. Persistent reporters still try to dig deeper, hoping to uncover secrets the public is even more curious about. Mr. Rafayel, would it be all right to ask where you come from? Some speculate that you're actually royalty from a certain maritime civilization. An island? Rafayel continues to walk, a faint smile playing on his lips. Atlantis, maybe? Your work does embody a certain romantic charm. This question is answered amid the laughter of the reporters. Before getting into the car, a crowd races to the roadside. A person asks, "One final question, Mr. Rafayel. Why did you choose to come to Lincoln City?" A fleeting, elusive glimmer flashes in Rafayel's eye, so brief that no one catches it. Lincoln City and the people within it invoke a sense of wonder for me. Can you describe that feeling? With a momentary lapse in his aloof smile, Rafayel speaks earnestly, like spice smeared on your hand on the tip of your tongue. So it's a flavor, is it? Rafayel steps onto the car and shuts the door. He offers no clear answer to the rhetorical question, nor does he intend to get an answer. Only he knows it's not a matter of taste, but a sense of perception, an addictive, painful kind. Another disguise. The phone on the bedside table vibrates, waking Rafayel from his sleep in the hotel bed. Overnight, his inbox is flooded with a variety of invitations and visitation requests. Most of these are from various art organizations, media outlets, and individual artists. He scrolls down, flipping through several pages before his finger abruptly stops. Shining a spotlight on Lincoln City's universities, interviews with student representatives from 34 different majors. The out-of-place headline instantly captures his attention. A university. She should still be a college student. Oh wait, is that us? How does he know? Is he also stalking us? Someone forwarded this email to him. Rafayel taps on it and examines each photo. Before he finishes, he pauses. In the photograph, the student representatives of the university are all smiles, radiant joy and optimism. Behind them is a building with a glass spire, on which hangs a sign bearing the name of the university. At the same time, he receives a new message from the sender of this email. University of Lincoln, that's where the person you're looking for is. There's a knock on the door. Rafayel silences his phone and rises from the bed. Here's your mail, sir. Please take it. The hotel's robot says, standing at the door. It's metallic. Blocky hands hold a stack of letters. Unsurprisingly, it's not just a bunch of emails that arrive, but also a flood of physical letters.
Rafayel takes them, returns to his room, and tosses them onto the table. He's still thinking about what kind of excuse he should use to show up at the University of Lincoln. A renowned artist wandering aimlessly through the campus each day and inquiring about the whereabouts of a particular girl is likely to make the headlines in no time. It would be best to carry this out in secret. As he thinks, he inadvertently looks at several invitation letters for lectures. His gaze lingers on them for a moment. A thought spontaneously springs to mind. The University of Lincoln's Art Center, crowned with a glass spire, houses Rafayel's lecture in its largest auditorium, capable of accommodating many people. The aforementioned artist sits on the stage. As he wraps up his extraordinary lecture about his art, he sweeps his gaze over each face in the audience below. She is in the school, possibly within reach. However, it's a pipe dream to think that someone he's been chasing after for many years would willingly appear here. Oh, you know what? It's because he knows her because when they were younger, she met him on the beach. And they made that promise to, like, come back after that year, right? But she never did. So he knows of her, and maybe he's been, like, trying to find her ever since? Mr. Rafayel, can I ask you a question that's not related to the lecture? A student's voice from below the podium pulls Rafayel out of his hazy thoughts. Rafayel adjusts his sitting position. Sure. I heard you're not particularly fond of discussing your artistic philosophy in public, even turning down invitations from professional art institutions. So why did you agree to give a lecture at our school? Is there something here that particularly appeals to you? The student grins, suggesting that his line of questioning is far from over. Is your ex here? Can you imagine the balls on a student asking a guest professor to be like, yeah, so we know that you're a really private person and you typically don't do things like this, so why are you here? Like, are you looking for a former lover? That is insane. That is absolutely insane. A sudden uproar fills the entire lecture hall. After a while, as the students slowly quiet down, Rafayel responds, maybe. Just as the cacophony is about to subside, noise surges again like a wave rising from the ocean. Rafayel pretends to share in their joy. His eyes, filled with laughter, slowly shift to outside the window. After the lecture ends, Rafayel leaves the auditorium. The dean of the College of Fine Arts invites him to his office for tea and incidentally brings up the matter of signing on as a visiting professor. The campus is lush with greenery, with students moving back and forth. Rafayel feels a little better as he walks down these streets. However, the tranquility doesn't last long. Thank you, but I'd like to take a stroll on my own and soak in the atmosphere of the campus. Hold on, there's still one more thing. Thank you for the head pat. Welcome in. Lord Abacab. Welcome, welcome. A new player. Inside a private booth on the second floor of the Nest, Rafayel lounges on the sofa, idly playing with a coin in his hand. It's not easy to secure a meeting with a renowned up-and-coming artist, the person seated across remarks, his greeting laced with hidden implications. Rafayel doesn't look at him as he places the coin on the table. As long as you can provide valuable information, there will always be an opportunity for us to meet. The lecture at Lincoln University was, well, very popular. It seems you received my email. The info about who he was looking for. As the man speaks, he pulls out a file. He opens it, takes out some photos, and places them on the table. Here's what you requested. Quite a few people are keeping an eye on her, from what I can see. Some have been planning for years. They're setting things into motion. Oh, it's because we were, we had experiments done on us, right? Like, when we were younger. Because of our heart. The threads of fate have already spun a web around her. You're entering the game late, but if we act immediately, we might just get the upper hand by catching the others off guard. Rafayel listens half-heartedly, scanning the photos with no discernible emotion. To join now, it would be a late entrance, but he doesn't need to. He's been in the game since the beginning. What do you have on the others? The man shrugs. I can't dig any deeper. With your current status, you should have more channels than me. He takes out another photo and places it on the right. Here's a bonus just for you. She's in the photo, captured from a distance. Rafayel's expression becomes a little colder. I believe I told you not to approach her. She didn't notice. Just an ordinary college student going to class during the day and spending time with friends afterwards. She sometimes joins in extracurricular activities. She is completely unaware of us. Besides, is she your type? Don't ask unnecessary questions, Rafayel chuckles. He picks up the girl's photograph and stands. And don't do anything unnecessary either. Suddenly, flames incinerate the file in the man's hands as well as the photos on the table. It is intense, blinding. Otherwise, you'll never be able to work with anyone ever again. Ooh, spoopy, scary, Rafayel. Bait. Lincoln University's campus is accessible to everyone. Rafayel strolls under the shade of the tree-lined path, surrounded by hundreds of people. Ever since he gave that lecture, he has grown to love the campus ambiance. Green leaves and red bricks. The area resonates with simple, crisp laughter and shouts. Even the air is saturated with the floral scent of late summer, invigorating and refreshing. What a free, shallow sea. Under the sun, the water is so clear that one can see the bottom. Everyone is but a school of fish in this vast ocean, including himself. But she is only bait, disguised as a tiny red fish. It's possible at this very moment she's in the crowd. She may be still in some classroom he has yet to pass by. It's possible that in an unguarded moment, unnoticed by him, she has already brushed past him. No matter where she is, her aura has already attracted too many predators that don't belong in these waters. Rafayel knows if he takes the bait and appears by her side without meticulous planning, he will undoubtedly become prey. And there might be someone lurking in the shadows, using her as bait to capture him. Rafayel knows that since he's already reached this point, there's no need to rush. He must ensure his absolute safety before doing anything rash. Moreover, he is willing to spend the rest of his days with her. He wants to settle the score with her bit by bit, slowly and steadily. At this thought, a deep-seated pain stings his heart, gradually seeping down, permeating his entire being. This process is undeniably painful, yet it's addictive. A leaf flutters, landing on Rafayel's shoulders. He stops, brushing off the leaf, and his gaze falls upon the scoreboard standing nearby. By a strange twist of fate, the photograph of a familiar face is right there. Rafayel recognizes her at first glance so many years later. This photograph is clearer than any he had seen before. He can recognize her features, which have changed a little from what he remembers. She's no longer as young as before, yet her eyes still twinkle with the same mirth as they always had. A voice echoes from deep in his heart, long time no see. Aren't you that famous painter, The students nearby notice him and burst into excitement. Rafayel turns around and shushes them. The other student is overjoyed. Rafayel points to the pictures on the board and asks, "Do you know where the students of this major usually have their classes?" No one can resist helping a well-mannered, renowned person. There's no fixed classroom for lectures, but most students take their elective courses on the 5th floor. He points to the facility behind him. At that building over there. Rafayel looks at the building for a moment, then his eyes shift to the floors. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's counting. He counts out 50 steps. In 50 steps, he will be that much closer to her. Thank you. Also, please don't mention this to anyone else. No problem, but does your... Sure, Rafayel says, and turns away from the bulletin board. But it loses its charm if you say it out loud. The more information he learns, the less hurried he feels. For every step they take, it will only take a few to reunite. Besides, he has taken the bait she used once before. Unexpected encounter. A week later, the dean's office. Fantastic! You will be our visiting professor for a year, Mr. Rafayel. The dean of the College of Fine Arts, satisfied, puts away the 2-page contract Rafayel signed in a file. I hope we will have a wonderful time working together. Rafayel decided to be a visiting professor. Sometimes there's a unique pleasure in observing a small fish swimming alone in a vast unknown whirlpool. So, Mr. Rafayel, do you have any thoughts on the topic for the first lecture? He gives it some thought for a while. Grinning, he says, let's start with the history of art. As he speaks, Rafayel turns his gaze toward the window. Let me tell you a story, a chapter of art history that never made it into textbooks. Soon, posters for the lecture series Lost Sea, Lemuria's Art and Civilization by Rafayel fill every corner of the campus. Inside the campus cafe, Rafayel is seated by the window. He's leafing through a slim book of colors. An almost empty cup of coffee is in front of him. The ancient civilization of Lemuria, a subject long forgotten, has suddenly become a popular topic on the campus with the help of Rafayel. There's an empty table over here. By the way, what was the name of the cake we ordered last time? It was absolutely delicious. Just as it was time for the mid-morning break, a group of girls arrived and settled down in the seats behind him. I think it's sea salt cheese? A familiar voice gently tickles Raphael's ears. Sea salt cheese, like a summer day by the seaside. That shell-shaped design? Outside the window, a leaf falls. The girl continues to converse with her friends, but Rafayel can no longer make out her words. A summer day by the seaside. Seashells. The sea. Though her voice has matured, her enunciation, the rhythm of her speech, and even the emphasis in her sentences, every word strikes like a drumbeat, awakening long-buried memories in his mind. Have you been keeping up with the Lemuria lectures at the art school? I want to attend one, but I heard the spots filled up as soon as they opened. Her friend speaks with a heart full of sadness, yet the voice carries a hint of confusion. Lemuria? You surely know about it. I was busy preparing for my thesis proposal, she laughs. The girl's confusion is somewhat weird, leaving him uncertain as to whether she has never heard of Lemuria before, or is simply unsure what the lecture is about. Rafayel glides the spoon along the rim of his coffee cup as he listens. Wow, he's literally, kind of stalking her, but also by chance just eavesdropping. That's crazy. Thank you for the lurk, Dio. If the seasonings aren't sufficiently added, the spice will be a mediocrity. The conversation behind him has already moved on. He sees no point in staying here any longer. Rafayel places the spoon on the coaster. He raises a hand and gets the attention of a passing waiter. Check, please. A perfect opportunity. Morning. In the studio of the art center, the students move their easels to the sides of the classroom, their eyes focused on the canvas Rafayel has set up in the center. Mr. Rafayel, since the Lemuria lecture series ended, what's the next series going to be about? I bet it's paint! Look at that glass jar! This is a rare type of art class. Rafayel sits beside the canvas. He doesn't have a paintbrush or palette. Instead, he dips his hand into a vat of vibrant red paint. The students can smell a faint spiciness in the air. What are the plant ingredients in this paint? Chili peppers? He can turn that into paint, huh? As expected of Mr. Rafayel. We can use hot sauce to paint from now on! All you know is how to eat, as expected of a student. Amidst the commotion, Rafayel remains fully engrossed in his paints. Various chili peppers can give different colors. Using plant pigments for painting is nothing special. He pinches out a bit of red, rubs it between his fingers, and sniffs. The colors have already spread out in his hand, yet the scent remains too faint. It hasn't reached the level he desires. Spiciness is a sensation not only perceivable by the mouth, but also by the skin. It's similar to painting. Rafayel applies a stroke of red onto the canvas. Color is also a sensation. If we only rely on our eyes to judge, it becomes superficial. Colors not only shift with the changing light of different times, but they also appear entirely different in the eyes of various creatures. That's why creating art and who's appreciating art are of great importance. The students exchange glances. It's a simple principle, yet coming from Rafayel, it feels like it means something else. Mr. Rafayel, in your eyes, is this not red? Do you only see the color red? Rafayel smiles, but doesn't continue the conversation. The students, understanding his unspoken cue, tactfully steer the topic in a new direction. Mr. Rafayel, how long do you plan to stay in Lincoln City? Can we still contact you after you finish your work here? Yeah, when will you have another exhibition? On the canvas, various shades of red are gradually layered. The pain from the spice seeps through his fingertips, beginning to stimulate an excited nerve. Perhaps he will remain in Lincoln City for a long time. After all, he has yet to formally invite an art appreciator, and his paint is still not properly mixed. The perfect moment will happen in the distant future. I see. Oh, that was a cute story. He was looking for her all this time. Okay, that means we only have the third anecdote left for these three boys. Oh my god, Zayne's never-ending winter story was so depressing! Still in dark. Okay. We have Zayne still in dark. And when shooting stars fall for Xavier. And Siren Song for Rafayel. Okay. I think that's it for today then, because it's almost 1 and I don't want to go over time because I have a meeting. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I had so much fun reading through the stories and learning more about each of the boys and seeing their personalities. So let's go hang out with
this sofa is big enough for the two of us.
Someone else. Well, I hang out with Rafayel for a bit. Thank you for stream. Thank you guys for coming, even though it was a very like impromptu, like I'm just gonna stream for 2 hours situation. Oh, Cupid is doing some art, and I rarely get a chance to raid into her streams. So let's do that.
This sofa is big enough for the two of us.
Okay, I need you to not... There we go. If you are a subscriber, go ahead and copy either raid message. Both will work. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and copy that second raid message with the dog heads. That should work for everybody, whether you are, a subscriber or just a follower. Both are totally fine, We're gonna go over to meet my friend Cupid. She's absolutely adorable, does a lot of art, is cute, is funny, and has the, silliest voice. I love it so much. Thanks for stream, of course, Aster. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for making it out. Thank you to VHS earlier for the raid. I really appreciate it. We're going over to Cupidiles now. As always, you guys, please be happy, please be healthy, but most of all, please be kind. Be kind to others, because you never know what a smile, hug, or hello can do for someone who's having a bad day. And be kind to yourselves. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Get up and stretch your legs every once in a while, because if you don't, you might get an embolism, and then you'll die. And then we'll all be really sad. I'm gonna try to stream before Rafayel's birthday banner ends, so probably next Saturday we will be streaming Love in Deep Space and maybe some of the event stuff. I don't know what event stuff there will be, but I am gonna try to do event stuff on stream just so you guys can see my reactions, and then we can have a record of that somewhere in the world, because we know sadly another Otome game is shutting its servers down. This was news from yesterday, and it's just sad when something you love for so many years is discontinued with no way to even review it. So it's good to have a record. All right, you guys, say hi to Cupid for me. I love you all. Have a good night. I will see you all tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. Say hi to Cupid for me. Bye.